What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, back with another episode of the Not So Weekly Wrestling Review. Welcome back. Hope you guys missed the series as much as I did. It's been a crazy couple weeks in my casa, so I haven't been able to upload any videos at all, but I'm back. One thing I want to say before we start talking about Weekly Wrestling Review is this is a very dated episode. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania and all that stuff in that episode. I know a lot of people aren't interested in what I have to say, what happened 4 months ago, but yeah. So what I'm going to do with this series from now on, because I'm so behind, is I'm going to kind of be watching these shows, but I'm not going to watch, like, okay, how can I explain this? I'm going to watch them for, like, the important stuff and the stuff that I want to watch, but when there's stuff like, I don't know, fucking Oksana versus Nikki Bella on Raw, I'm gonna skip that because I don't fucking want to see that, and I don't think it's gonna. I'm missing something big if I don't watch it, or like a Miz match. I'll probably skip that as well. So hopefully, with that new thing where I just kind of skip through some of the shit and go to the important stuff, that'll help me pump these out quicker, especially with me being so far behind. So we're gonna try that system out for the next episode, definitely. And I kind of did it here as well. I kind of did it like halfway into this, like, watching all these things. I'm like, I was watching Smackdown, I'm like, I don't fucking care about, like, half these matches, you know? I don't care about, like, an Oksana versus a Brie Bella, for example. I'm like, why am I sitting here watching this? I know it's going to be a crap match. I'm just going to skip through it and go on to something I'd rather watch, like a Goldust, Cody Rhodes, Wyatt Family tag team match or something. So that's going to be the new format, at least until I catch up in some of the later stuff. So hopefully with this new system, we will plow through some of these episodes and hopefully catch up. So on this episode, we're going to be talking about WrestleMania and stuff that happened around that time. We're going to be having reviews for WrestleMania 30, Ring of Honor SuperCard of Honor 13, and the 2 weeks of stuff that happened after WrestleMania and Impact and NXT and all that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll kind of just jump into it right away. Oh, one more thing I'll talk about. So, like, me skipping, like, stuff that I don't want to see, that's not going to occur for pay-per-views. For pay-per-views, I'll watch the whole thing, just because, like, it's a fucking pay-per-view, and I feel like I should watch the whole thing. But, like, Raw, like a Kofi Kingston versus Miz match, yeah, I'm going to skip that, because I've seen that about a million times. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, first thing we're going to review, Ring of Honor SuperCard of Honor 13. It was a pretty good card. I skipped, like, the beginning half, because there's really nothing I wanted to see. I kind of glanced through, like, I skipped through the match and watched certain parts, but for the most part I skipped through some of these matches, and we'll talk about the ones that I skipped through. So the first match on the card was Roderick Strong versus Cedric Alexander. This was a good match. I enjoyed this one. Roderick ended up winning this one. Next was the Decade versus Adrenaline Rush and Andrew Everett. This is a match I didn't really care for, so I kind of skipped through it. From what I saw, it was pretty good. The Decade won. Next we had Silas Young versus R.D. Evans. This was another match I really didn't care for, so I kind of skipped through it. It was pretty good from what I saw. It seemed like it went on a bit long, but, you know, RD won and continued the streak, so that's cool. Next, we had Michael Bennett versus Mark Briscoe, no DQ match. I didn't really care for this match as well, so I was watching it on and off, and it was a good match from what I saw. Mark ended up winning that. And then the rest of the card were matches that I want to see, so I watched them thoroughly in full. So the first one is Red Dragon, War Machine, and Forever Hooligans. This was probably... shit, was this my favorite match on the card? I think it might have been. I don't know, I really liked the Ladder War main event. But this tag team match, I don't know why, but, like, I really fucking enjoyed it. I don't know why, but, like, this was just an awesome match to me. I just, like, one thing I'll talk about Forever Hooligans, fucking awesome tag team. I want to see them more in Ring of Honor. They're just so entertaining. They're so good as a tag team. And They fit well in Ring of Honor. I love those guys. Red Dragon, you know, they're awesome. And then War Machine, this is a brand new put together team around this time. And I like these two guys together. Just because, like, they're so different from, like, what we usually see in Ring of Honor. Which is, like, I don't want to say smaller guys, but not like these big, ginormous muscle guys like, Raymond Rowe and Hanson. Like, these, when you see a guy like these two guys, like, holy shit, this is something cool. And they were fucking awesome in this match. I really enjoyed this. I would say this is probably my second match of the night. First one's probably Ladder War. I really, really enjoyed that. But for some reason, I really enjoyed this tag team match. I don't know why. I was just like, this is the fucking most amazing thing I've ever seen. I think it's because at that point, I haven't seen like a lot of wrestling at that point. Because I went a couple weeks without watching it. And I fucking love tag team wrestling. So when we have 3 teams and they're going at it and they're doing crazy stuff, I was like a kid in a candy shop. This was fucking awesome. Anyways, moving on. I really enjoyed that match, if you couldn't tell. Next, we had Jay Lethal versus Tommaso Ciampa in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Ring of Honor TV title. This was a good match as well. Lethal won. He actually won the 2 pinfalls, which is kind of surprising when they do that in a 2 out of 3 falls match. But anyways, Lethal wins. He's the new Ring of Honor TV champion, and then after the match, turns heel and aligns himself with Tommaso Ciampa. I like this. The match was good, but I'm not talking about the match here. I'm talking about Jay Lethal as a heel character, because we haven't really seen that from him. We saw him go a little bit heel, like when he was having the thing with Jim Cornette and Kevin Steen, but it's not like a full-fledged heel turn like what this is, where he's with Truth Martini and he cheats and all this kind of stuff. So I'm very interested to see where this is going to lead to, and what kind of character, like if he's going to be a good heel. Because he's a good babyface, and he's been a babyface for, I'd say, the majority of his career. So I think, you know, him being a heel, hopefully he'll have like what's the word I want to use? Like, a presence to him. Because when I think about Ring of Honor, when I'm like, oh yeah, Jay Lethal's on that company. Like, you just kind of forget about him. So hopefully with a heel run, or heel persona, whatever, hopefully he can, like, stand out more. You know, I hope everyone's understands what I'm trying to say. But, yeah, what I tried to say. Anyways, next we have Michael Elgin versus Kevin Steen. This was a #1 contenders match for some Japanese title. It's going to be at the next pay-per-view. Really looking forward to those pay-per-views. I can't wait to watch them whenever they occur. The War of Worlds, and actually I don't know what the pay-per-views are called. I think there's 2 of them. I think there's War of the Worlds. I don't know. It's the New Japan Pro Wrestling Ring of Honor 2 pay-per-views they did. Whoever won this gets a title shot there. So it was Michael Elgin, Kevin Steen. This was a good match. Elgin wins, and he will go on to face, I have no idea who the champion is, but it was a good match. And last but not least, the main event was Adam Cole taking on Jay Briscoe in a ladder war for both Ring of Honor titles, Adam Cole's and Jay Briscoe's, to unify them and have one champion, whatever. And this was a really good match. I really enjoyed this. I'm surprised they got blood in the match, because even with, like, Nigel was on commentary, and of course if you know his situation with blood and stuff, I was actually surprised that they started bleeding in the match. So I was like, whoa, it definitely added to the match, that, you know, that hate factor where they're just beating the shit out of each other and they're bleeding and just beating the fuck out of each other. I really enjoyed that, and whenever blood's involved, I think it adds something to the match. At least I think that's a lot of things. Especially, blood is, like, needed in a feud like this, where these two guys just fucking hate each other, and, you know, they're going all out and they're bleeding and shit. So I really enjoyed that. Anyways, the match was awesome. I really, really enjoyed this. They beat the shit out of each other. It was fucking crazy. There were some crazy spots. Pretty sure they almost died at certain points, and I just really enjoyed this. Adam Cole won. You had some interference near the end with Matt Hardy, Mike Bennett, Mark Briscoe, and Did I say Matt Hardy? Matt Hardy, Mark Briscoe, Mike Bennett. I think those were the only guys that interfered. But at one point you thought Jay Briscoe was going to win, then Adam Cole, and then Jay Briscoe. So it went back and forth and actually kept you on your toes like, oh shit, either one of these guys could win. And eventually Adam Cole won, and I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a solid match and a good ending to the whole card. So overall, I really enjoyed Ring of Honor SuperCard of Honor. The first half, I'd say, meh. You know, like, I wasn't too interested in it. But the last half, fucking awesome and worth checking out. So next, we have the biggest pay-per-view of the year. I think that's fair to say it's the biggest pay-per-view ever. Well, not ever, but just in the sense of, like, yearly pay-per-views, this is probably one of the biggest ones. WrestleMania 30. Wow, lots to say about this, especially for a guy that went in with no expectations. If you've been listening to the weekly wrestling reviews, you know that, like, I didn't really give a shit about WrestleMania. There's only, like, 1 or 2 matches I was excited for, and that was the Daniel Bryan vs. Triple H match in the main event. So everything else was just kind of like meh. And I'm happy to say that I was blown away by the whole fucking pay-per-view. It was awesome. Matches that I thought were going to suck were good. Matches that I thought were good were amazing. And, you know, it was just a night full of just surprising events. So let's get into it. First, we had the pre-show match, which was the 4-way tag team title match. Usos, Real Americans, Los Matadors, and Ryback for the WWE tag team titles. Good match. Usos win. And after the match, Real Americans break up. I'm kind of sad this didn't happen on the main card, just because, you know, the tag teams get slated so often and they put on the pre-show and stuff. And it's like, fuck it. The tag team's been awesome this fucking past year. Put them on the main show. But I guess it's still a big deal to be on the pre-show because the whole fucking WWE Network, which you can buy for $9.99. I'm gonna mention that a bunch. I don't know if it's in this episode, but the coming episodes of the Weekly Wrestling Review. WWE Network, $9.99. What a fucking deal! Because you hear that about 50 times a segment, not even an episode. You hear it about 1,000 times an episode. It's 50 times a segment. And but yeah, what a great deal that is. So yeah, anyways, a good start to the show. And then an even better way to start this show. So we had that awesome match, and then the show started off with a great promo package. It was really good. And just the highlights of WrestleMania and stuff. And then Hulk Hogan comes out and hypes up the show. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out and hypes up the show even more. And then The Rock comes out and hypes up the show even more. I didn't know how hyped I could get, but these fucking 3 in the middle of the ring was fucking awesome. And this was just an awesome way to start the show. Like, you have these 3 guys, 3 of the biggest stars in wrestling. Absolutely. If you're going to talk about the biggest 3 stars in wrestling, these might be the top 3. They're definitely top 5. You could make an argument for, like, Ric Flair and a few others. But these are the most recognizable, notable people from pro wrestling. And just to have them in the same ring at the same time at WrestleMania 30 was just fucking special. Like, I really fucking enjoyed this. It made me feel like a kid again. Like, them just doing their whole things, you know, Hulkamania, whatever, Austin, can of whoop ass, blah, 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 The Rock, just doing all the stuff he does. Welcome back to, where's WrestleMania? I don't fucking remember, but just doing all their stuff, and it was fucking awesome. It was an excellent WrestleMania moment, and I loved every minute of this, and it really it was a perfect way to start this show, and it really gave a special feeling to this show. It was amazing. Anyways, the first match on the card, the official card, whatever, was Daniel Bryan vs. Triple H. This was a match I was so excited for. I was so hyped. I'm like, I gotta watch this. Fuck yeah, let's do this. And it was everything that I wanted. It was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. They went back and forth. The promo package before the match was fucking amazing. Set it up perfectly. It's probably one of the best promo packages I've ever seen. Was the one leading into this match. And just some, it was a fucking amazing match. You know, just the year of build, well, not a year, but like a half a year of just solid build up and fucking Daniel Bryan, bringing him down and blah blah blah, and screwing him. You know, he finally got his revenge, and that's what like WrestleMania is for. You know, you build up that storyline throughout the whole year, half a year, or like the big storyline throughout the year. And then you have the big payoff at WrestleMania. And this was perfect. It was a perfect culmination to this. He finally defeats Triple H. He goes into the main event. And does he walk out the WWE champion? We'll talk about that later on, but you probably know. You know, whatever. And I just really loved it. It was an amazing way to start this show, especially after the whole promo by Austin, Rock, and Hogan. This is just fucking awesome. I loved it. And I loved Triple H's entrance. It was fucking awesome. He looked like Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. He looked so badass. So that was a little cool thing, too. Next, we have the Shield versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws. This wasn't really like a match. This was just the Shield destroying Kane and the New Age Outlaws. It went like 2 minutes, and they just pummeled them in those 2 minutes, just to make the Shield look like beasts, you know, get them ready for their next feud, which we'll talk about after WrestleMania. And yeah, so it wasn't really anything. After that, we had the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. It was a pretty good match. Not much to say. It's a Battle Royale, you know, it's whatever. Cesaro ended up winning that as the first annual. I don't know if this is going to be an annual thing. Hopefully, I'd like to see that become something. He became the first inaugural Andre the Giant Battle Royale Memorial winner thing. And, yeah, not much to say. There's some cool spots. Kofi did a spot landing on the stairs. There was a couple other things that I don't really remember, but there were some cool things. Next, we had John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. This was a really good match. I really enjoyed this. I'm kind of surprised that Cena... Hold on, did Bray... I have in my notes that Bray won, but I don't remember him winning. I think Cena won. Let me double check, because it's been a while since I watched WrestleMania 30. I just need to double check, because I think... Who won? Yeah, Cena won. Why the fuck did I write Bray won? I must have been half asleep when I was watching it. So yeah, anyway, Cena won. Well, I guess I'll fix it in my notes, whatever. Cena won. I was kind of surprised Bray didn't win, just because they're obviously continuing the feud, and I just think it would have been bigger. Actually, it's WrestleMania, you gotta send the people home happy, so Cena had to win. I guess, yeah, if you look at it like that. But it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. And, I mean, I didn't go into this thinking it was going to be a bad match. I just went in like, oh, it's just a match, whatever. But they delivered. Really enjoyed it. Bray Wyatt was awesome. He had a cool little entrance and some cool stuff. After that, they brought out the Hall of Fame class of 2014. We'll talk about that on Raw and the stuff that happened with that. But, you know, a decent little class. I forgot who's in it. Lita, Warrior, Jake, Scott Hall. Yeah, you got some pretty big names in there. So yeah, enough about that. After that, we had probably the most shocking thing to happen in wrestling in quite some time. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, of course, for the streak. This was a good match. Yeah, it was good overall. It was good. Lesnar won. I don't think anybody expected that. The Undertaker losing at all, especially at WrestleMania. It's true. It's a moment that's going to go on forever in WrestleMania. Now, when this first happened, I wasn't watching WrestleMania live. For some reason, I was like, I need to go on Twitter for something. I don't know what I went on for, but I went on my Twitter. And I saw the trending topics was like, the streak is over. No, it was 21-1. 21-1. That was the trend that I saw, and I was like, what? People are trolling. This can't be fucking real. And then I got some tweets like, dude, can you fucking believe Undertaker's streak over? This is a travesty, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I gotta fucking look at this. Go to WWE.com. Lesnar has conquered the streak. Undertaker's streak is over. And I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. And, yeah. I couldn't believe it. The crowd couldn't believe it. You fucking hear. As soon as the fucking pay-per-view was done, I found a video of the match, and I went straight to the end of the match, watched the 1, 2, 3, and the crowd, you know, they're ready to get excited because Undertaker's gonna kick out at 2 and then beat Lesnar, and when he doesn't count it, and when he doesn't raise his arm up to 2, and the ref, you know, puts his hand down for 3, and the crowd dead fucking silent. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. Just the crowd reaction. They even panned in the crowd. Like, everyone's like, did we really just see what I think we just saw? And it was an amazing, amazing moment. Truly fucking crazy, man. Fucking crazy. And, you know, a lot of people were upset that he lost. I think more people were upset with the fact that he lost to Lesnar. I don't think people minded that he lost, but just the fact that he lost to Lesnar, who's a part-timer and doesn't really like wrestling, and, you know, kind of does it for, I don't know if he likes wrestling or not. I think if he did, he'd probably do it more often, but it is what it is. So do I like him losing to Lesnar? Of course I don't. I would have liked him to retire undefeated at WrestleMania, just have that be cemented in WrestleMania history. Like, Undertaker, this man, the myth, the legend, he fucking went 22-0 at WrestleMania, or 23-0. Because what I would have liked to happen was, he beats Lesnar here, boom, done. And then next year, he faces Sting, he beats him, and he retires, and everyone's happy. But that's not going to happen anymore. I mean, the match is still a possibility, but it would not be for the streak. So I talked about this on Universe a bit. Like, you know, I think if they have the match, it's not going to be as special because it's still like, it would have been more special if it was for the streak. But I guess it's still a special match because, like, okay, now that the streak's out of it, then they can build it more like, okay, Sting was a huge superstar in WCW, never came to WWE. Undertaker came from WCW to WWE, became a huge star there, and there are the similarities between the two, and you kind of build it up like that. I guess it's still a possibility. You know, from what I've heard, Undertaker got really fucked up in this match, suffered a concussion. I think this Lesnar he's such a physical guy, just beat the shit out of Undertaker. And you know, there's reports like, hey, we don't know if Undertaker's going to be at the next WrestleMania. He's pretty fucked up from this match. So I don't know. I don't know if Undertaker's going to compete next year. I think he might do one more, and then that's it. You know, I saw a picture and a video of him recently. He did the Ice Bucket Challenge, and he did it in the dark, so you couldn't really see him too well. But he looked pretty fucking old and beat up. Actually, I did see a picture of him. Okay, yeah, there was a picture that was online, him with like these 2 girls, and he looks old as shit. And I think this might be his final WrestleMania. It might be. And I don't know. There's so much to say about this match. You know, he lost. WrestleMania streak's over. Oh, just so much stuff. But anyways, you know, he beat him. Taker lost. He had a cool entrance, though. I liked it a lot. There was the caskets lined up, all 21 victims, Kane, Henry, all those guys. And I really enjoyed that. And I thought it was fucking hilarious. Like, you know, the crowd is in shock. Like, oh my God, he lost. And then, you know, as Undertaker's like getting to his feet and getting his bearings, and he's ready to leave the ring, you just hear, like, the crowd is just quiet. You know, they're all like, oh my God, can you believe that? Blah, blah, blah. You just hear, like, the mumbles. and then some guy fucking screams really loud, "You suck!" It was fucking hilarious. It was just like, I don't know, I really enjoyed that. And it was funny. It was a funny moment to end out a very sad situation. So. Undertaker's out. Leave it in the comments. Do you think Undertaker will wrestle one more match at WrestleMania 31? Who's his opponent going to be? And, wait, what was I going to ask? Do you think he's going to wrestle one more match? And if so, who's his opponent going to be? Those are my last questions. Oh, and how many more WrestleManias do you think he has in him? Do you think that was his last one, or he's got one more? Maybe he's got a few more. Let me know in the comments. So yeah, that was that. After that, a match. I don't know what match could have fucking happened after this, but Vicky Guerrero's Diva Invitational. They were in a tough spot to go on after this match. And, wow, whatever, they went out. They had a pretty good match. AJ won. This was better than I thought it was going to be. It was a huge clusterfuck, but it was handled well. So, yeah. And last but not least, the main event, Daniel Bryan, Batista, Orton, three-way for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Really good match. I really enjoyed this. Daniel Bryan won and is the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Great match, lots of near falls, and just a perfect ending to this whole event. It was a special WrestleMania. It was awesome. It had to be pretty memorable. You know, it's the 30th one, even though no one talks about the 20th one, because, you know, the people who main evented are dead, kinda. Eddie's dead. He main evented the WWE title match. And Benoit, you know, that whole thing, and he won the main event of that WrestleMania. So that one kind of gets forgotten about. But yeah, this had to be a special one, and I think it delivered on all accounts. I don't think there's anything outly too bad, besides probably the streak. But you can't even take away like points from the pay-per-view, like, oh, because that happened, the whole pay-per-view was shit. Don't watch it. Sucked. You know, it is what it is, and I think it kind of added to it because it just made WrestleMania more special. Like, shit, you never know what's gonna happen. And yeah, so overall, I'd say 10 out of 10 WrestleMania. It was fucking awesome. Started out great, middle was great, end was great. Very memorable stuff on this WrestleMania, and that's what you want when you watch a WrestleMania. You want to be like, you want, one, the culmination of all the things that happened throughout the year to end at WrestleMania, and two, you want it to be memorable. You want it to, like, holy shit, I watched something special. And I think WrestleMania 30 was just that. It's exactly that. It was special, and a moment that will never be forgotten. So, great wrestling event. 10 out of 10. Must watch. If you haven't yet, watch it. If you have watched it, watch it again. It's fucking awesome. So, that was it for WrestleMania 30. Now we're going to move on to the Raw after WrestleMania. We're just going to, from here on, I'm just going to kind of pick out things that I kind of want to talk about. So, of course, the Monday night after WrestleMania, of course, last year's was fucking ridiculous, and the crowd went apeshit. This year, it was a pretty good show. You know, we had the return of RVD. We had the debut of Rusev and Paige. We had Bad News Barrett, who finally came back into competing. And a couple other things. So we'll go through real quick. What do I want to talk about here? We had... I liked the beginning. The beginning of the Raw after WrestleMania, where Daniel Bryan came out, and the crowd just went absolutely fucking apeshit. You know, he's trying to cut a promo, and the crowd wouldn't even let him talk. They were chanting so fucking loud. And it was just an awesome moment. Anyway, so he talked about his WrestleMania win, blah, blah, blah. Triple H comes out, tells him he's not going to enjoy, not to enjoy it because it's not going to last, and that he's going to take the title away later on. So that sets up the main event. After that, what else? We have RVD returning. You know, he, I don't think it's special anymore. I think RVD returning the first time, he had a pretty good run, Money in the Bank, feud with Del Rio. But I think now it's kind of like, it's kind of meh, you know? not as special as the first time. So it's kind of whatever. After that, we had Bad News Barrett returning to competition. Happy to see that. I like Wade Barrett. Don't like his name. I wish they'd give him his Wade Barrett thing back and take off this Bad News Barrett and all that stupid stuff, but whatever. He defeated Rey Mysterio. Rusev made his debut, and he just squashed Zack Ryder. Nothing much to say. Oh, this is something I want to talk about. Ultimate Warrior, making his last appearance. He came out, he cut a promo. Very eerie promo. Very, very eerie, especially when you see what happened after, like a few days later. Anyways, he talked about hearts beating their last beat and lungs breathing their last breath, and it was just very creepy. Especially when you find out what happened. It was just, it was a cool promo. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad that, you know, he got to say his final goodbye to the WWE Universe, but at the same time, it was kind of like a hello again, because, like, there's a whole new generation of people who don't know who the fuck he is. So it's kind of like he's saying goodbye to all the fans that he had, and kind of like hello to all the new people that are just becoming aware of him. So we'll talk more about Warrior later on, but very dark promo. Very dark promo. After that, we had AJ Lee come out, brag about being the Divas Champion, blah, blah, blah. Paige comes out of the fucking blue. I thought this whole... We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway, so Paige comes out, and she's like, "Hey, AJ, I just wanted to come out and congratulate you on your big win at WrestleMania." What? What the fuck is an NXT diva? I'm just gonna appear on Raw and fucking congratulate AJ. Shit, whatever. And anyway, so she comes out. AJ tells her to leave, and then she says she wants to face Paige. Paige says she's not ready. She slaps her. This is gonna have they're gonna have a match right now, and it's gonna be for the Divas title. I don't know why. I have no idea. So anyways, they have a match for the Divas title. The match was short because it was stupid, and Paige wins and is the new Divas champion. I fucking hated this. I thought this was so stupid when I first heard of this, because I didn't watch this either, because I was behind and I didn't want to watch anything current. So when I heard this happen on Raw, I was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. People might like it, and, you know, there might be some people that like it. I thought it was stupid. I thought that's completely rushed. You fucking have Paige appear to congratulate her. I don't know why. It would have been better if it was like a backstage segment, like if Paige was in the hallways getting ready for her match to make her debut, and then she like bumped into AJ and like, "Oh, congrats on your win," and then AJ can be like, "Screw you, rookie, don't talk to me like that," or something, and then just kind of build to it from there. But to just kind of rush it and just have it all on the Raw, it was so stupid. I really didn't enjoy this. So AJ held the title for almost 300 days and dominated the Divas division, and then she loses to a rookie from NXT. Stupid, 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 stupid. I hated this, but whatever. What else do we got? Oh, Cesaro. He became a Paul Heyman guy. He ditched Swagger and Coulter and sided himself with Heyman, because of course Lesnar's gone. You know, he beat The Undertaker, so now he's got to go take a fucking vacation. And, you know, Heyman is so fucking awesome that, you know, since he's not there with Lesnar, hey, let's use him to elevate somebody else. So we put him with Cesaro. And I haven't seen much of them, but I like the pairing. I hope it can help Cesaro out. And then last but not least, Daniel Bryan comes out for his match with Triple H. But before that happens, Batista and Orton come out and beat up Bryan. Kane comes out, chokeslams Bryan. And then a chant for 3MB broke out. Like they were going to come and make the save. That would have been fucking amazing if that happened. Imagine that. Evolution, Kane, they're beating up Daniel Bryan. The crowd wants someone to save them. And who comes out? Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, Heath Slater, 3MB, baby! And they come and they make the save. They clear house, take out Evolution and Kane. That would be amazing. That would be the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But sadly, they didn't come out. But that would have been hilarious. Like if they just made like a call right on the spot, like, fucking Shield, stay. 3MB, go, you're on, go, go, go. And they just come out, they make the save. That would have been amazing. That would have been better than WrestleMania. That one moment would have been all better than all of WrestleMania. That would have been. It would have been amazing. So anyways, 3MB doesn't come out. But the Shield comes out and they attack Orton, Bryan, Kane, and Batista. And make the save for Daniel Bryan. So Triple H's own henchmen have turned against him. So, of course, that sets up Evolution versus the Shield at Extreme Rules. Big match there. I was kind of surprised. Like, okay, Shield's going to do this at WrestleMania. What are they going to do next? Are they going to break up? Because, of course, leading into WrestleMania, they were teasing the breakup. And, like, I don't know. The WWE creative team didn't even know what was going on. Like, oh, should we break them up? Should we keep them? Blah, blah, blah. They finally came up with the Evolution idea, which I think is great. You know, two dominant factions going head-to-head, and it's only going to elevate the Shield, so that's an awesome move. And, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was really good. After that, we have NXT. Nothing I really want to talk about. During this time, Brodus Clay came out and, like, had his thing with Adrian Neville, which is, like, really random. Bo Dallas tried to occupy NXT. That was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. What else? We had Impact. Is there some stuff we want to talk about on this Impact? Well, yeah, there's one big thing. You know, Eric Young winning the TNA World Title. So earlier in the night, he won a gauntlet match to get a title shot, and then he's like, MVP, I want that match, and now I want it tonight. I don't want it at Sacrifice. MVP's like, all right, we'll have it at Sacrifice. So instead of having this big moment and match happening at Sacrifice and building up to it, like Eric Young doesn't deserve it and all this stuff, no, we just give it away on Impact. We give it on free TV. That's what happened. Good match. Eric Young wins. He's the new TNA World Champion. Very stupid. I thought it would have been so much more special if they built up to it and did it at Sacrifice. And it's so stupid because TNA only has 4 pay-per-views a year. And obviously they don't mean shit because all the important stuff happens on Impact. Dumb stuff. Very, very dumb stuff. Also, I want to talk about this. TNA pay-per-views, there's 4 a year. Why are 3 happening back-to-back? You have Lockdown in March. You have Sacrifice happening in April. And then Slammiversary in May? I don't know if Slammiversary happened in May, but I know it was back-to-back pay-per-views. Like, you have 4 pay-per-views, spread them the fuck out. You have the 3 pay-per-views back-to-back-to-back, and then Bound for Glory in fucking October. Like, what? That's so retarded, but whatever. So yeah, Eric Young, new world champion. I'm gonna be honest, not a big fan. Just because, like, they've done so much with his character. Like, he's not believable. Like, he did cut a good promo the last time, but it's Eric Young. It's this goofy guy. Fucking, like, when I see Eric Young, I see goofy guy. You know, I don't see super serious world champion. So hopefully they can build him up to be a world champion and serious and people can believe in him, but I don't like it. I don't like it. So, yeah. Next we got SmackDown. Nothing I want to talk about here. Next we got Ring of Honor. This was actually a good Ring of Honor. Even though it wasn't like a full show, they showed matches from Ring of Honor Raising the Bar. And I heard a lot about this, not the pay-per-view, but this match I'll talk about in a second. Young Bucks versus Red Dragon, where the Young Bucks became the ROH Tag Team Champions. I was like, why isn't this happening on a big pay-per-view? Like, what the fuck? I want to see this. This is a big title change. And thankfully they showed it on TV, and it was a good match. I really, really enjoyed that. It was awesome. Young Bucks win. They defeated Red Dragon to become the new Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. That was pretty sweet. What else? that was it for that. After that, we have RAW. This is dedicated, of course, in memory for Ultimate Warrior. And what stuff do I want to talk about here? Nothing really. Nothing really that I want to talk about. Nothing really big happened here. Just kind of building up, of course, towards the Shield thing. And the main event was Shield versus like 11 guys, and then a huge brawl breaks out, and then Evolution form Evolution for the first time, and then just beat the shit out of the Shield. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, it was a pretty dull episode. NXT. This is a pretty dull episode too. Nothing really big happens. Next we got Impact. Nothing really to say here besides Tigre Uno, who is fucking awesome. I've been kind of keeping up with TNA a little bit, and I feel like Tigre Uno should be used a little bit more. You know, like. He's a good guy. I enjoy watching him wrestle. Very entertaining, and he's just perfect for the X division. I don't want him to turn out to be like a Sanjay Dutt kind of guy, where it's like Sanjay was in the X division for so long and never really did anything memorable. I don't want Tigre Uno to be that guy. I think he can be someone pretty special, and yeah, I know around this time he was having his best of 3 matches with Sonata. And they put on a pretty awesome match on Impact, and that's why I'm just bringing him up, because I enjoyed that. So after that was SmackDown, and you might say, "Oh, SmackDown, nothing to watch here," and I'll agree with you, except for one thing. This one thing actually made it worth it to sit through this whole crap that is called SmackDown. El Torito versus Hornswoggle. So I've heard about this feud for a while. And I was like, why? Why did this happen? What started this feud? And apparently on main event, you had 3MB come out to face Los Matadors. And, of course, Los Matadors have El Torito. 3MB are like, hey, we got a little person, too. Look at Hornswoggle. Woo, he's a rock star now. And whatever. And him and El Torito get into it. Anyway, so they have a match on SmackDown. And it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty good match. Probably the best. I don't want to say the best match on the show because the main event was pretty good. But fuck, I enjoyed watching this a lot. El Torito, Hornswoggle on SmackDown. Whew, they put on a way better match than I thought they could put on. And I just thought it was hilarious. Like 3MB with this little guy Hornswoggle. That's awesome. I wish they did that. Like, I know a couple months later they obviously end up getting rid of Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre, and imagine if they have 3MB and Hornswoggle, and like, there's just so many funny backstage segments I can picture with that, and I wish they ran with that a little bit longer, but that would have been hilarious. That would have brought a whole new thing to 3MB, but sadly, you know, they get released and they break up. So yeah, that was SmackDown. That was an awesome match. I enjoyed it. Next we have Ring of Honor. Nothing really to talk about here. They showed matches that happened at SuperCard of Honor. So yeah. And last but not least, before we end the show, a couple little news bits. First one, around this time, Ezekiel Jackson was released from WWE. Not very surprising. You know, he's been like inactive for a year and a half, and it was just eventually going to happen, and he got released, and of course he went to TNA, did a couple things there, and now I think he's gone. So I don't know if we're going to see him back in TNA or what, but yeah, not a big loss for WWE. And of course, probably the biggest news that happened those weeks was Ultimate Warrior death. Of course, he suffered a heart attack while walking to the car with his wife. He collapsed, and very, very tragic thing. You know, after so many years of holding bitterness and animosity towards the WWE and Vince McMahon, for him to finally like make peace with it, and then look what happens. He's fucking dead. It's tragic. It's so crazy and unbelievable. I cannot believe it still to this day that it happened, and it's fucking crazy. You know, one day we see him on TV, next day I don't think it was the next day he died. I think he appeared on Raw on the Monday, and then he, like, died on the Wednesday, but it's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. And, very sad. It's probably one of the most shocking deaths I've heard about in wrestling in some time. Just, I don't want to say it's shocking, because he did put himself through a lot of abuse with drugs and steroids and that, but, just shocking in the sense of, like, you know, one day we see him, and then one day he's dead. You know, so it's fucking crazy. But I'm glad, you know, he got to, you know, be in the Hall of Fame and be in a video game while he was alive. And to kind of make that peace before he died, it's kind of, it's like, it's disturbing and it's perfect at the same time, you know? Because, like, like I said, after all those years, holding that grudge between the WWE, and then he finally makes peace, and then, you know, he fucking dies. And, you know, he leaves behind 2 daughters and his wife, who he talked about at the Hall of Fame, which I watched just to listen to his speech, listen to him talk, and I want to say, fuck you, Mick Foley, fucking piece of shit. I talked about this on Universe, but I want to say it again. Mick Foley is a huge piece of shit, and I lost a lot of respect for him after I heard that. So, of course, in the Hall of Fame, Warrior does a speech. Mick Foley sends out this fucking tweet that says, you know, it's a pretty good speech, but mine was better. Something to that extent. And I'm like, what a huge pile of shit you are. Like, just let this guy enjoy his moment. Why do you have to fucking, like, try and steal his glory? Like, go fuck yourself. You had yours. Let this guy have his. And, of course, you know, later on when he finds out he dies, oh, man, I'm sorry I tweeted that out. It's really wrong of me. Yeah, you're a huge pile of shit for doing that. Why would you even do that in the first place? So, I just have to say that. Fuck Mick Foley. What a huge piece of garbage you are for doing that. And, of course, having to retract because, oh, shit, you feel bad because he died. Well, what a stupid motherfucker. So, I just have to get that off my chest. And, yeah, but rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. You know, I never watched a lot of your stuff, but I can respect your contributions that you did to pro wrestling, especially around that time where he was a huge influence, you know. So, he was probably a top 3 star around that time. Him, Macho Man, and Hogan were probably like the 3 top names. So, he had a good run. You know, backstage, heard a lot of stories about him, and, you know, I think there's like one SummerSlam where he didn't want to wrestle because he wanted more money and stuff, and just stuff like that. And, yeah, but, you know, you're not supposed to know about that kind of stuff, you know, that's like on the business end. You're supposed to enjoy him for what he did as a wrestler in the wrestling ring. So for that, I can respect him. So yeah, rest in peace, Warrior. I hope his family is doing better. I want to shout out to WWE because I read some stuff like they helped out his wife and kids. They sent over some people to help out with stuff, and that's really cool of them to do that. So big shout out to WWE. So that's going to be it for the Weekly Wrestling Review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Look for the next episode coming soon. In the next episode, we're going to have reviews for TNA Sacrifice, along with 2 weeks of WWE RAW, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor, and any big wrestling news that happened during that time. So this series is going to be back, hopefully for the long term, unless some crazy shit happens in my house. And yeah, so that's going to be it. Look forward. I know a lot of people have been asking. Universe should be out this week. Early this week, or early the week coming up, so just give it a few days, it should be up. And yeah, so I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch me next time. Until then, guys, peace out.